Hello, and welcome back to the multi-talented assortment of people we have before us. They were arguing in the break over who's the most talented. That is not a mischaracterization at all.
No, it's me.
No, it's me.
I put all the fire out.
That's pretty multi-talented, yeah. But all of this was my idea, and it worked, kind of.
It kind of did. So you're standing here in these trenches. Bud is unconscious, but alive. Many of your archers are dead. Those that have survived have given a cheer, applauded, not applauded, what do you call it, embraced one another, and then looked at their fellow companions who are dead and sit silently for a moment.
I'm just going to sort of just be like, well done, all of you. You fought bravely. We've defeated a rock. And there is alcohol in the back of the cart. Help yourselves.
They will slowly head over to their alcohol and imbibe with enthusiasm. The cleric of Nadina shows up and says a few words over the rock and the elephant.
I'd also like to immediately start chopping off the rock's talons.
I'm going over to Sarah.
Prove we've killed it, right?
You hack off its feet. Its feet are the size of an elephant, width-wise. So maybe just take some nails? Claws?
Talons, yeah.
Just the talons, okay. Not the whole foot. Got it.
No, not the whole foot. That would be weird. But yeah, talons. I'm just sat there going like, I wonder if you could make a rock talon dagger.
Ooh. All right, well, you have the ingredients to do it now. Sammy, what were you going to say?
I go over to Sarah, ask about Bud's well-being, and says everything seems fine. So I ask her to say some words for the fallen when she has time.
We'll have to get the people out of the trenches first, the bodies and everything.
Well, that I can help with.
Make a rock.
Do we want to give them a burial here, or do we want to transport them back to the capital? I ask. Is the ranger captain still around, or is he gone?
1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a D10 and roll a 5 or lower for them to still be alive.
He's still around.
She's around.
I'm gonna go and ask her how she wants to handle these procedures.
We'll take them back to their families. They're stationed out of Berkshire, so it's on the way.
That sounds sense. I will still say a few words tonight when we've loaded them all up on the wagon.
Mm-hmm. They can be buried as heroes.
I was just there going, yes, heroes, all of them.
All right. The bodies are collected. Bud is lifted out of the trench with care, stacked onto one of the carts. And the awkward moment comes, I don't know if it's that awkward actually, where you're like, well, we had this cart to go collect these eggs, but now we have all these bodies. So, are you guys gonna are you going to send the bodies and Bud back and continue with your quest to get the rock eggs right now? Because
how much health can Sarah heal?
5.
Then she can heal Bud's 5 from the fire, and he'd be 1 health.
He'd be rock climbing capable at 1 HP.
Oh no, he slipped and skinned his knee and he's down again.
He can handle himself at 1 HP, but he's not coming rock climbing.
I mean, we could send that one person that was standing guard to another, like, village or city or whatever to come and bring us another card back, right?
Totally, yeah.
I guess I will heal Bard back to 1 HP, and I will try to look for that person that's standing guard somewhere, and I'll ask them to, like, do the job for... Well, I guess that would be card prize, but, well, it's a question if they even come back, right? I'm a cleric of Martha. I believe in the good of people. What the heck, right? So, some things are critical. People are good. We believe in this, people. Okay, I'm gonna give them the money for the cart, and I'm gonna tell them that it's the, for the royal crown and whatever of crackers. How much money do you want for the cart?
Well, it's for the crown, so we don't have to worry about the specific finances. She knows you're good for it, so she'll get the cart, and we can deal with. The crown will pay for these things. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it.
Fair.
I'd also like to try and find some unburnt rock feathers.
There are some.
Yeah, some smaller sort of pin feathers that I'm just there going like, oh my god, that would look amazing on my outfit.
Getting the wedding dress prepared with rock feathers.
Oh my god, yeah, just like rock feather epaulets.
Oh, I don't know what an epaulette is, but it sounds
Like
great.
shoulder, sort of like shoulder ruff sort of thing.
Shoulder piece.
I collect my own. It's probably like a single feather with just lots of bits on it.
Excellent.
Like I collect.
I'm getting as much as I can. It's like, that's fine, that's fine. Do you want one, Sammy? Can you use it for magic? Oh, make a wonderful fan as well.
Badarius, you wake up.
Oh God. Thank God. Sammy torched the rock. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't think you should speak right now, bud. You're still pretty badly injured.
Good job, though, brother. Good job. We did it. Rock is dead.
Good. I'm happy for you.
I'd like to formally invite you all to my wedding.
I wonder if they're gonna have one of
Never
those
change.
champagne fountains.
Maya, never change.
I have a little present for you when we come back. Oh, nothing. Just a surprise.
Right. Anyway,
I love you, sister.
I'm sure you do, brother. I'm sure you do.
And I
You look
hope you
after
get the
yourself.
best wedding ever.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Yes. Do be careful.
I know we haven't always treated you like one of us before.
Well,
And you must have had a very hard life, and I apologize for everything.
Sarah, is he ill?
It's gonna be better. Give him a few nights. He's still quite out of it.
Oh, okay, good. That's fine. We're just being very weird.
I don't have an appetite. Is that because half my belly is missing?
Probably,
Yep.
yes. You have a very healthy looking liver, though, brother.
Yep, looks pretty good.
It's just lying out here. Poke it with a stick.
Get you back inside?
I stitched it all back together. You should be fine in no time.
All right. A cart will show up the next morning for you guys. You'll still spend another night out here.
Nice.
And that other cart can be used to haul the dead back home. Klaus will... I guess he's not here for the battle. Yeah, someone else will deal with the rock another time.
We'll call them over as well, right? Like the climbers and all that stuff.
Yeah. They're all here. So the next day, a cart shows up, the dead can be piled in and taken away, and you guys are left to ponder your next move. Now, those rock eggs, if you want to save them, gotta be moved pretty quickly, because they're not, if you leave them for a month, they probably will, they need to be incubated, right? So,
Right.
yeah. On the other hand, if they are not eggs, if they're actually hatchlings, they'll also probably starve within a month. So you need to get to the Great Horn if you want to save the eggs or hatchlings, whatever they are.
Well, we're going now.
All right. So on the 6th of October, with Bud at a single hit point, and the rest of the party okay? No, Maya's pretty badly wounded.
Yeah.
-2.
Maya's got an 18-point wound, yeah.
I'm fine.
The party can make their way to the Great Horn, the base of this massive mountain that kind of just towers up out of the middle of the steppes over here and out of the Tempian range. It's a big trek. It's pretty steep. You got a crew of mountain climbers with you who can help you get there. Are you guys ready to ascend the mountain?
No, but I'll do it anyway.
That's the right attitude to have.
Is the cleric of Nadinus coming, or is he staying down there?
Yes. Yes, he's here
That's
too.
what he's here, right? Okay.
That is his primary function.
Yep. I guess I'm gonna take the blankets and cushions and whatever we use to want to fill the cart with us as well, so we can wrap the eggs into it before we climb down.
Sounds great. I'm just trying to... Do I not have the thing that I need?
What thing do you
Terrible.
need, Neal?
I needed a mountain background, and I don't think I have any mountain backgrounds. Thought I did.
Use our imagination.
Oh my god, imagination? What?
I love imagination.
I'm imagining the mountain's about 10 feet high, and the rock eggs are like chicken eggs. That's what I'm imagining.
Imagination.
Well, I imagine the rock dead, and somehow it happened.
Well, you gotta use the most powerful graphics processor in the world.
Most powerful.
GPU. It's your mind.
I don't know. I'm not very good at like picturing details. I wouldn't be a good artist.
I am. I'll picture all the details for everybody.
It's alright,
Like,
you've got a faulty graphics card in your brain.
It's a bit blurry. But
You're
I can
using it
picture-
all for Bitcoin right now. There's no extra room for detail.
Oh god. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Have a fucking
I
mountain.
can see that.
I thought I had mountain backgrounds. I guess I don't. Just pretend there's mountains instead of forests, guys. That's all I can do for you. Okay, you've got your mountain climbers. You've got your cleric. You've got your 4 party members. Everyone's going together, right? Bud, you're climbing with them?
Nope.
Where's Bud staying? You're gonna leave him at the bottom of the mountain range by himself?
I thought we left him with the.
Is
the
he going
Rangers.
back with the wounded and the dead? Bud,
I think-
talk to me, man. What's happening with you?
I think I'd probably be like, yeah, Bud should stay with the injured people because we can't really carry him and some rock eggs down a mountain. He's like gonna go down at the slightest nudge. What do you think, brother?
I'm not gonna climb up there. But is there any crew still at the base camp at the
The
bottom of
archers
mountain?
aren't coming, right?
Nope.
Well, because I would just stay at the base camp for now. Then just down there, maybe
By
preparing
yourself?
s-
You'll get warned by the mountain climbers that the Great Horn is not really a safe place. But they look at you and you're a good fighter. You could probably take care of yourself. But they are going to give you a single warning beforehand. Let me just figure out what is actually in the Great Horn. They will tell you that, well, you know, if you want to stay here, you can. It's a little dangerous. You don't have to worry about the Arakaras who live on the mountain. They're pretty fine. They leave humanoids alone, mostly. But there are a few tribes of bugbears who live in and around here.
And the rock hasn't killed them?
No, the rock doesn't... They're too small for the rock to hunt. You know? It likes bigger prey.
What if the archers are they going back?
They already went back to Berkshire.
Yeah, they got paid. They were like, woo, okay, so got some booze, got our dead friend share of the profits, let's go.
No decision and head back with the dead.
All right.
And wait in I guess I'm gonna take camp in Berkshire at an inn.
You'll rest at an
must
inn
be-
in Berkshire.
Right?
I hear there's a good inn in Berkshire.
There's a good pub there, an Irish pub.
I'll rest there. Good.
Okay.
Are we seeing Bud on Sunday?
Fuck, I actually forgot to send out my email for shenanigans tomorrow with less than 24 hours. It's the latest I've ever sent it out. Oh,
Except
I'm a
for
bad
not at
person.
all, right?
That's never happened.
Yet.
You send these out every week.
Sending it right now as we're
I am
doing
sending it right now in the middle of one game.
Couldn't wait till the break.
I mean, surely people know that it's happening because it happens every Sunday, you know.
Yeah, it happens every week, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone should, yeah, it's fine. So
Bud's
Bud
camera's-
heads back. It's just the three of you. And you're going to climb this mountain. The mountain climbers are going to help you. They're going to make this actually really easy. None of you are going to need to make any skill checks. I will make checks for them. And if something bad happens, I'm just basically going to roll some dice and be like, well, you fall to your death. But it's probably not going to happen that way. Tell me about your climb. Not like how it goes, but what... Sammy, are you a climber?
I am a hunter.
I'm
I-
also going to
That
mention
Same kind of
is-
climber.
together.
Are you a mountain climber, Sammy?
No, I'm not a mountain climber. He's probably, climbed trees, scaled walls, but not like fucking mountains.
Right.
Can I make sure that the mountain climbers have us all roped together and like securely attached to things?
Oh
with
yeah, they bring
carabiners?
harnesses.
cool,
Carabiners don't exist, but you do nice loops through these things and those things, and they have their shit together. They are one of the best mountain climbing teams around. They're perfect. What about you, Sarah? How are your climbing skills?
What kind of check is climbing usually? Is it strength related?
It's combination strength dex.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah's not, she's, averagely dexterous, but she is pretty strong for like a normal person, right? She has 16 strength. So I think it does show that she doesn't get slowed down as much as you might imagine, or, just like a cleric of Martha. And she's always on the lookout for her family and making sure, because Maya is an excellent climber, but she's wounded pretty badly, and she's worried about Sammy. She's now she feels like she kind of has to take care of the family since Bud is gone, right? For now. So she doesn't want this to be a total failure, because it's also kind of her mission, because this is what she wanted, this part, right? So, yeah. Slow but steady climb.
All right. So slow but steady climb. You guys start your way up the mountain. First couple hours of climbing is good. No problems, no monsters, maybe a couple of, rocks falling out from underneath your feet, but no one is anywhere near danger. The next third of the mountain is a little bit more tricky. The climbing gets slower, and you find yourselves having to rest for the day partway up the mountain. There's not quite a cave, but like a big overhang with a ledge that these climbers know about. And so they've steered you in that direction, and you're gonna camp for the night up maybe 3,000 feet above the ground, 1,000 meters above the ground, kilometer, looking down this fairly steep mountain, and you can perch here for the night. While you're up here, I would like a perception check from Maya. When it's your turn to
God.
watch. You're muted, but we see your joy.
Sorry.
Natural 20, she sees everything.
Maya, that night. Ooh, what is the moonlight? Hold on. This may not matter. Oh no, we're right next to a full moon, a new moon. Never mind.
Oh.
You don't see the basilisk at the bottom of the mountain. It won't be there later, so it won't matter. I just wanted to scare you.
Didn't wait at the bottom of the mountain then.
Basilisk. Another sign. Very good.
But you can't see it because it's night. It's
can I
almost a
hear
new moon. No, you can't hear it from a kilometer away. All right, next day you begin your final ascent. You notice these very, I guess I shouldn't say large, because the rock is large, but some human-sized red-winged birds with faces and hands that are swooping around in your area, observing you in the sky.
I'll just give him a little wave. Hello.
They shriek after you, making some sounds.
Will cast a messenger
Oh.
and send it up to them, and I will say, "Greetings, no harm intended. The rock is dead. We're fetching the eggs," and that is in Eridonian.
Messenger. Here we go. La la la. The caster eats a feather and whispers the words to a spell, summoning a small bird into existence. So what feather do you eat?
Not one of my rock feathers.
It's too big. It would never fit.
The messenger comes up there, the rock is dead, and the people are like, I don't think so bad.
What, do I have it listed? What animals I have?
You've got some just like chicken fluff or something.
I had like, what did I say last time?
Sure,
Well-
do you just raid the pillows of whatever place you stay in? Just get some feathers out of them.
Let's just say like a.
Goose last time, and Fuzzy behind you.
Oh yeah, look at that.
There's a flying food plate.
I love you.
I love you, plate of food.
Well, technically, I was saying I love you to the person who handed me the plate of food, but I love the food too.
Aw.
Let's say goose then, if that was.
All right. A goose
one.
appears before Sammy, squawking like a goose does.
And it flies.
You talk to it, and it flies over to the Arakaras and squawks at them. But, you know, in its squawks out come words with no real intonation to them, just the actual words. The Arakaras do not speak Eridonian, and they're shocked when a bird appears out of nowhere and then flies to them, squawks at them, and then vanishes. Just like poof. The Arakaras are stunned.
I
What-
mean, they will obviously
What
know
magic
it's
is
a
this?
language.
Well, clearly, well,
Any
they
understanding of what it meant.
fuck off immediately. They just like peel off and away from you guys and leave you alone on the mountain. The weird,
Yeah. The
goose
shit's freaky,
summoner.
Let's go.
yeah, they're just
Oh god, they got a wizard run away.
I need to learn languages.
all right. You guys continue your ascent that day, making it to the top, where there's no rock nest. But the mountain climbers will scan around and find the rock nest is nestled in like this little crevice canyon section in the mountain. It looks like the rock actually has to land and then like crawl down this thing to get to where the nest is. And so now you're standing above this like crack on the north side of the mountain, looking down at this nest in this hard to reach area. One of the climbers goes down with a rope and digs around and then comes back out being like, yep, it's a rock's nest. There are 3 very large eggs in there.
Excellent.
Okay. So the plan is to bundle up the eggs and then transport them down the mountain.
How big are the eggs?
Oh, about as tall as a person. Small person. Tall as a dwarf. Tall as a dwarf and a half. A dwarf plus a gnome. 2 halflings. As tall as 2 halflings stacked on top of each other. With a trench coat on. Trying to get into a bar.
All right, we get the we get the message. It's fine. So there's just going to be 2 people per egg, I feel.
How many climbers came with us?
I want to say 6, I wrote it down, but I'll have to find it.
I would have to find it
Great,
too.
Perfect.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Or
So
perhaps even 3 people per egg.
yeah. So you guys can all descend into here slowly but surely. The climbers will help you down one by one or 2 by 2,
We
whatever.
have five climbers.
And soon you are all standing in this large crevice with a big roc's nest around you, and these massive eggs that are all like lying flat, or as flat as eggs can lie. And in and amongst this stuff is also little bits of mixed stuff. There's some chainmail here that's been ripped to shreds, and there's a scabbard over there attached to a belt, and some other little bits of pretty here and there.
Okay, Maya's just like, oh, interesting. And she's going to have a look around and see what she can find because it's Maya.
You'll have to dig through the nest, so why don't you give me any check that you think would be suitable for digging through a nest.
Perception.
Looking for treasure. Sure, perception.
25, not amazing, but not.
I'm gonna roll the good sleep mana, by the way.
Not quality sleep, right?
No, just good.
Perfect. It's fine.
Just in case it ever comes, because I'm at like 14 mana now.
Oh, can you get good sleep when you've been like climbing all day? Is that or is that too strenuous?
Warm and uninterrupted.
Yeah, you don't have to have been doing non-strenuous stuff. You can just get regular. Okay, you're good then. Fantastic. So, Sarah, you've got the eggs before you.
Right. What's the best way to bring him down from here? Can I ask whoever's the leader of the expedition? I mean, I told him what the plan was, right? What's the easiest way? Should the strongest people carry the eggs, or?
Oh, we'll tie some ropes around them, and we'll put we'll use a Johnson knot with a Rachel net, and we'll just pull the eggs up one at a time.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna put the extra bedding around the eggs to make sure they, in case they slide down the mountain, but they don't get damaged too badly.
Should we check if they're actually viable first? I'm going to listen to the eggs.
Sure. Give me a wisdom willpower check.
What on earth is wisdom willpower?
Wisdom, willpower, they're the same stat. We call it willpower, but sometimes we need to use it as a wisdom stat.
31?
31 is great. Maya, you feel these eggs, and they are cold to the touch. Like, cold as the rocks surrounding them.
Maybe that's how they're supposed to be.
Brother, can you cast a bright light?
I can cast lights, yes.
But that doesn't warm them, does it? It's just bright.
No. Cast a light on the far side of the egg.
Do
you know what egg candling is?
Conjure up some beetle lights.
How bright is it?
Beetle light is not super bright. Sammy's light spell is actually fairly dim, but it's really versatile.
I can gather them all in one place.
Yeah, but she's trying to get a light bright enough that you can kind of like see through the egg to see what's going on in there. So what is a better light source that you guys can use?
A torch.
A torch would be better. Do you have multiple torches?
Let's see how many.
I would assume we would have actually had torches to come up the mountain with.
I mean, who would mountain climb while carrying a torch? That's ridiculous.
Well, for the night.
Maybe. I mean, does anyone pack a torch?
I'm out of torches.
That was your last one?
Mountain climbers have torches.
They would have no need for torches.
I only have candles, and that's not quite enough.
They don't need torches to make a campfire.
Well, what did we make the campfire out of?
Well, you wouldn't make a fire on the mountain because there's no fuel. It would have been a cold, windy night. It would have been miserable. Been terrible.
All right. Can I conjure something flammable?
Is this rock nest made of anything flammable?
Oh, yeah. That's all flammable materials. That's twigs and branches and all sorts of stuff. Hell, there's half of a wagon in here.
Could we jury rig a couple of torches up?
You could create fire if you have a tinder box or a tinder kit.
I just
No
don't
problem.
want to accidentally set fire to the nest and cook the rock eggs.
You can arrange the fire in such a way that, you put it in the far back corner with like a 10-foot gap between it and the nest isn't going to catch fire unless someone's, screwing around.
I would like to do that then. And then I would try to sort of like see if I can see any movement or anything in the eggs.
Yeah. You don't see any movement. In fact, where there ought to be like little cuddled, like curled up, sleeping or unconscious bird
Rocks.
fetuses, there's really not much in there. Like there's something low to the ground, but it's hard to see because like the egg is still sitting in the nest a little bit, but it's not a curled up little bird. It's more of like something slumped pretty low.
Sister?
Mm-hmm.
It might be too late. Did the priest of what's it come with us?
Nadidus, yeah.
He's here and he's seeing what you're doing, and he does not look excited by this. His face is furrowed, and he is pacing back and forth quietly by himself.
Your opinion?
He like goes up and like knocks on the egg, goes and knocks on the other side of a different egg. He goes, I think these babies didn't make it, but this looks not like a recent thing, Looks like they've been here a while. I think maybe these eggs didn't make it, and she's been sitting on them ever since, kind of hoping for them to hatch.
Oh, that's just sad.
Yeah.
So, good thing we checked before we carried them down the mountain, then.
What language are they speaking in?
I guess they were speaking Drakissian to each other because he's a Drakissian priest.
I'll relay the news to everybody else then. I'll just be like, these are non-viable eggs, I'm afraid.
So the mother has been sitting on them all that time. That is really sad. Then I gently touched one of the eggs.
I go over to Maya, kind of close, and I speak softly. These eggs would still be valuable, though. If the babies have perished, they're still rock eggs. They would act
really don't
the same as unfertilized.
Have you ever? No, because there's dead rock babies in there.
I'm
brother,
thinking.
have you ever cracked a rotten egg?
Yeah.
Do you remember that smell?
Good point.
Yes, magnify that 100-fold for these things. I think we should leave them well alone. They're probably fermenting as it is. We've got the feathers, we've killed the rock. We can scour this nest for any valuables. But I think we're done here.
Neal, are there signs that this nest has been recently used? Is there a possibility that there's another rock nest since they have been living here for quite a while? This one was just abandoned. and is
Very
not the one-
clever. Make me a wisdom check.
No!
How long would they stay warm?
33, Neal. 33.
There are signs of recent activity here. You'll notice like little tufts of feathers here and there.
So it is an
there's some
active nest.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
some relatively fresh bird shit nearby.
Huge. Huge budget. I was just thinking that if she was recently sitting on this literally like the day before, then surely they would have retained at least just a little bit of heat.
Yeah, they've been dead for a while apparently.
Right.
Well,
so
Chad's gonna
I-
go insane if I don't do this up here, so I'm gonna cast a detect magic.
You shouldn't do things because people in the audience are demanding it of you. It's the
I
worst
mean,
way
I was
to do
gonna
it.
do it eventually, but I was waiting until the everything was done.
All right. You cast a detect magic, and there is nothing of magic note up here.
Didn't think so.
Yeah.
Mountain for nothing. My God.
But Maya, you did look for treasure up here, and you do find some small assorted amounts of treasure. Nothing super valuable, but it looks like at some point the rock picked up a cart with the people in it, and then the people died up here, probably to rocks. And so there's a little bit of gold, or wealth, I should say, and there's somebody's long sword, arming sword, and a dagger you can fish out. And some bones, but I don't think you care about human bones.
I'm not a necromancer.
Yeah, you can find 2 pieces of gold, 1 piece of silver, and 6 pieces of copper. It's not a great haul.
Mm-hmm.
And
what
1
about
arming sword.
Okay.
It's just a... It's not that... It's kind of, it's an old sword. It's been sitting up here for a while. It's not very impressive.
It's probably not a magic sword because Nekka's done the detect magic.
It's definitely not a magic sword, yeah.
You would have come up to me, asked me, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this on the whole thing." Like, no, it's not.
Oh well. All right then. I guess we should just head back then, unless anybody has anything else they want to do.
Nope. You guys can head down the mountain the next day and head back to Berkshire, where you can meet up with Bud. Successful in defeating the rock, but, no
Eggs are a
eggs
bust.
recovered. Haha, the eggs are a bust. I like that. All right.
Couldn't crack the problem of the eggs.
2 days later, the 9th of October, 1511, you guys roll into Berkshire. Now, Bud, before we go to break here, tell me, what have your probably 3 or 4 days in Berkshire been like? Bud?
You're muted.
Bud?
If it has been 4 days, I think it was very relaxing. I didn't do a lot. I mainly tried to stay in bed and recover. At some point, I would sit at the bar and just listen to what's going on. Maybe mention that we had such a great task has been laid onto us from the Queen, and we made it. And I just hope that my family makes it back as well, and that defeating a rock is really nothing I would have ever dreamed of, but we did it. So
The barkeep seems particularly interested in your story of defeating the rock and listens intently. Give me a charisma check for how good of a story you can tell here, Bud.
sure.
Ooh.
Not good.
Yeah. He's like, sure, buddy. Yeah, defeated the rock. I've heard that story before. Actually, mostly it's...
Can I pull out some rock feathers and a couple
This
of
is
rock
the
talons?
this
still with
is the
blood on
days
them?
before you're here. Hold on.
Sorry.
Poor Bud's been unconscious for hours. Let's give him a brief moment.
All right. Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you want to see my scars?
Don't me, I get it. It's a pretty ridiculous story, but you're going to eat your words once my family comes back. Prove you wrong.
Would you like some?
They're getting the eggs from the mountain.
I'm sure we'll see some rock eggs just rolling down the road in no time. Yeah, make a great omelet, Can I get you some cold brew coffee?
Okay.
He pours you a mason jar filled of with cold brew coffee with ice. That'll be
that's good.
3 silver.
Did you just say 30 silver?
3 silver.
3 silver.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's expensive stuff. Hard to find.
How much is the rest in the inn as well, so that I can deduct it from our...
It's 5 silver a day, including food and drinks.
230 copper. Okay. No, but other than that, I think Bud just wants to relax and asks every day if they already heard from his family, if they've seen a bunch 2 women and a man and with a cart with giant eggs. And once they arrive, just tell me, just wake me up. And that's basically all he does. He just wants to. I mean, he's pretty much dead.
Yeah, there's not much going on. You're waiting, and you hear some weird stories that are being passed around. Some people have talking about liberating tar from a pack of kobolds. You're like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? There's only one tar pit, and that's up in Fenden. There's no kobolds there. What are these crazy people going on about? It's a weird time, but soon your family rolls on through, picks you up in their cart, and you all head back, and you notice there's no Rock's eggs in their wagon. And you guys can all head back to the capital. And we're going to take our last break here, and then we'll come back from our break, and we will see what goes down in the capital on the return. You guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.